Did you know that Earth is the only planet not named after God? Hello, YouTube. How is everyone doing? What's that? What? That's better. So today is kind of a weird day. I didn't really have anything to talk about for this week's video, so I went and used the dusty and ancient moderator module, which, I'll be honest, I have used like once since I put it up on my channel. And there's a lot of really good suggestions on there, which we are gonna get to eventually sometime in the next time of near future. What? No, seriously, there's some really good topics in there that I want to cover in the next couple weeks because my brain is too tired of coming up with ideas. So if you've got anything you want to hear me talk about, or you want to hear my thoughts on, or my opinion or whatever, just go to my channel and post it in the moderator module, and it'll probably get seen in the next couple of weeks. But as I was going through the moderator module today, I found a topic that quite interested me. Mostly because I just thought we've been talking about too much serious stuff lately, so let's just take a step back and have a nice topic about something that really isn't too heavy and it's just fun to make a video about. That topic is weird words and fruit. Random stupid Isaac face. I'm not stupid. So, weird words and fruit. Now, to be totally honest, I have no idea how I'm going to talk about fruit or what to say about fruit, so we're just going to move that out of the picture unless I come up with something through the course of making this. So let's just start talking about weird words. Now, when I started to think about this, I thought, you know what, I don't really have any weird words that I know of. I like to write a lot, so I love words, and to me there isn't a word that's so much weird as is different and sticks out from the rest. Like, for example, you have words like the, which are really, really boring and kind of feel like you're biting into some zinc or something. And then you have words like amalgamate, which just roll off the tongue and actually feel good to say, even though they don't really mean anything significant. Amalgamate, to come together. And now the trolls feed. Amalgamate is actually my personal favorite word. Not because of what it means or what it stands for or whatever, if it even stands for anything. Just because I like the way it feels when I say it. It just rolls off the tongue like amalgamate. Like, my description of what it feels like is almost like silk kind of pouring out of your mouth. It's really, really weird, but that's what it feels like in my brain when I say amalgamate. It's awesome. And there's another word I love. Awesome. Because when you describe anything and you want people to really know how amazing it is, you say awesome. And anything that's cool or makes the human race look amazing, it's awesome. Anything that we can congratulate someone for, we usually say, that was awesome! You are awesome! Awesome job, man! You get the idea. I think there's only one word that I really, really, really dislike. And it's the only word that I would find weird in any kind of situation ever. That word is hate. The reason I dislike the word hate is because of what it stands for and what it causes and what it can do to people just by saying that word. If you say behind someone's back something about you hating something that they do or hating them as a person, and they find out, it usually hurts their feelings a lot and can start a lot of trouble going on. Now, I personally hate drama and stuff like that, so whenever anything like that used to happen, I would always just steer clear. Or whenever things like that do happen, I just get out of there and wait for it all to blow over. Usually because I'm not involved, but I'm friends with people who are involved, so I just have to listen to all of them complaining about each other, and I really don't like doing that. No offense to you guys, because I know you're watching, but, you know, I hate drama. The other reason I hate the word hate is because it is such an abused and underestimated word. It's actually very, very powerful, and to hear someone say they hate something, you interpret it as them really, really, really not liking and really wanting to get rid of whatever they're talking about. When someone says they hate another person, I expect that person to go and, like, fight with them or something. When someone says they hate a sport, I expect them to, like, stay away from that sport all the time. Whenever anyone asks them to play that sport, they're just like, no! That sport is awful! When someone says they hate a certain actor or something, I expect them to never watch any of that actor's movies because they find them so distasteful. Hate carries a lot of power and punch, but there is one situation that will always shock me whenever I hear it being used in that situation. It's when kids under the age of 10 use the word hate in a sentence. My mother runs a daycare out of our house. So whenever I'm in the house, there's usually kids running around and talking to me and playing with all their toys and having fun and whatever. And quite often they like to engage me in conversation whenever I'm around. And as it usually is with kids, the conversations are entertaining and funny, and I usually enjoy having a conversation with kids that are under the age of 5. And then one day, one of the kids who is 3 years old told me he absolutely hated the food he was eating. Hated. And it took me aback for a second. A 3-year-old child is using the word hate in a sentence. Why does a kid know what that word is? And why is he using it without knowing what it means? Granted, he's a kid, he doesn't really know what it means. But it's just the fact that he's heard someone say it before and he chooses to say it. I don't really know if you guys know what I'm trying to get at here, but it's just, I can't believe that kids who are 3 years old are saying hate. It just sounds wrong when you hear a kid say that. In my mind, kids are supposed to be super, super innocent, really good people who haven't yet experienced the bad things of the world. But when they're 3 years old, they're saying hate? Usually people who are saying hate are like 30 years old and getting sick of this world. I don't know, maybe I'm just crazy and freaked out by a kid saying just one word and it's really not that big of a deal, but let me know what you guys think in the comments or maybe even in a video response. Anyway, now it's time for Hero of the Week! Today's Hero of the Week is Spiffy Savannah. Now, if you remember in our last video we talked about aliens, and Spiffy Savannah had some pretty interesting thoughts on that. If only the information was allowed to get out to the public. There is such an abundance of information proving the existence of extraterrestrials, it's not even funny. Everyone believes that if it were true, it would be in mainstream media. LMFAO. The mainstream news is so ridiculous that people put so much of their damn trust in it. Same this as with the government? Don't put your trust and faith into someone who is selling you something. Spiffy Savannah, I like your point at the end there. I can't really say whether or not I agree with everything else because I have not yet found all of this information which proves the existence of aliens and extraterrestrials. But if you wouldn't mind sharing a link with everyone in a video response or something, we'd love to hear from you. But back to the end of your comment. It's very, very true that we shouldn't put our trust in someone who is trying to sell us something. Just like you should never trust a car salesman because you know they're trying to sell you the car and they actually really don't care what your kids' names are. You should also be very, very skeptical when you see anything on the news because the news is controlled by government. The CBC in Canada is the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation and it is owned by the government. Now people say because it's owned by something, it's not controlled by them. If you own something, you usually have control over what gets put out by it, or what gets done with it, or whatever. Likewise, a lot of media corporations that are owned by the government are controlled by the government. So if the government doesn't want them to put out information that could be vital to us, then they don't put it out because that's their orders and they follow the rules from their boss. Very good point, Spiffy Savannah. Thank you for being awesome. And now for today's shout out. Today's shout out goes out to YouTube user named Spiffy Savannah. Spiffy Savannah was also the 10th person to comment on my last video, so congratulations, Spiffy Savannah. Shout out to you. Remember, if you would like a shout out on one of my videos, just be the 10th person to comment on this video and I'll be sure to give you a shout out in the next video. And if you'd really like to comment but don't have anything to say about anything else I've already talked about in this video, here is a weekly Would You Rather. Would you rather amalgamate or amalganaut? I don't even know if amalganaut is a word, I just felt like doing that. And again, if you'd still like to comment but still don't know what the heck you want to comment about, you can always suggest a random face for me to do. I actually only did one in this video, but I usually try and do a couple each video because I get suggestions all the time and I'm always writing them down and the list keeps building, so yours will get done eventually. It's just a matter of time. Anyway, I think that's pretty much everything I gotta say for this week. If you want to check out any of my other videos, there's a button up here where you can look at them and click on them and whatever. I'm Isaac Oley and I'll see you next week. Peace in. Comment and subscribe. Comment and subscribe. Comment and subscribe. And maybe favorite too.